Welcome in, guys, into my Lions versus Ravens review from last night. Again, going into this game, I did my preview earlier last week talking about it's gonna be a tough game. It absolutely is gonna be a tough game to look at, especially the Ravens. Even though the Ravens have won one, lost one, and they started coming into this game as a 1-1 team, just like we did when we beat Bears football and we lost to the Packers in opening game. You're looking at this, and it's definitely going into this a tough game. A lot of analysts on ESPN and we're going heavily for the Ravens. Ravens, even in Vegas, people are saying that even in Vegas, the Ravens were heavy favorites to win this game, and we proved them wrong. So let's get into it. So we started off. We start off really well. I think we start off really well here. We start off really well with Amon St. Brown. He gets us into the game to get us up in the lead in the first half, which you're thinking a great way to start with a kind of a quarterback-esque sweep. Then you're looking at, and then you go, and then there's a play in the first going back. There's a play in the first quarter where Rosengarten, the offensive lineman from the Ravens, blocks our pass rush, and instantly that paves a way for Rashad Bateman to get a conversion, runs past the defense, and that was just to make it to get in the lead to get back in the game at 7-7. So again, you look at kind of us defensively, we're still not there yet with this defensive unit with Calvin Shepard. We still haven't figured it out yet. I know that we gave up 24 points in this game, but you can see what's trying to happen. You look at John Morton, kind of picking up where Ben Johnson kind of left off. I know that in the preseason and in the Packers game, but it looks like John Morton may have found his rhythm now, because you're going on here into the second here, and ultimately we get that lead back with a 14-7 second half lead. Before the halftime, we go into a 14-7, and the Ravens come back with a 14-14. And there was one play where Lamar Jackson tries to find Mark Andrews, and then Brian Branch in the second half just leaves a huge bit of space for there's a huge separation between Brian Branch and Mark Andrews. I think it's maybe like was the first in time. Again, why are you leaving it so wide open? Especially when you're looking at Mark Andrews, who again Roshan Bateman as well. Who again, these guys are elite, who are elite weapons on their offense, and we're just leaving them open. Like there's huge bits of space in the third with Brian Branch. A couple of times when Brian Branch did that, you go back and like Brian Branch, Calvin Shepard was doing a too deep look in the fourth, and Brian Branch just completely gives a ton of space to Rashad Bateman, and then you look at DJ Reed, who going back to the third quarter, like DJ Reed, you had Lamar Jackson trying to find um, um, Andrews, and then Mark Andrews, after he got the touchdown, trying to find him again for another conversion. And then DJ Moore nearly had it, but fumbled it to do a turnover. DJ Reed. And then Amos St. Brown, like again, he was really good in this game. Like he had Amos St. Brown was fantastic in this game. Jamar Gibbs had 2 passing touchdowns. And then you're looking at near the end of the game, Lamar Jackson didn't have one of his best games. He was sacked 7 times in this game, 7 total turnovers. Just really a complete disaster for the Ravens. And you look at this Ravens defense, it is gettable. I'm not saying our defense is gettable as well, but you look at the Ravens defense, it is gettable. And you look at how The Bills, like, they give up 70.6. The Bills, you couldn't here, especially when they were, you know, later on, giving up 38 points in the fourth quarter. We win the game ultimately 38 to 24. Oh, 38 to 30. In the end, it was an 8-point game. Jared Goff had 202 throws. He had 1 touchdown, 202 passes, 220 out of 28 throws, 1 touchdown. And this was a big game. Like, again, these are the games that in previous years, especially last season, I can remember against the Bills, came on here against the Bills and against the Commanders in the playoffs, when we were, especially against those two teams, when we were struggling against we couldn't handle their offense. We couldn't handle their offense. And today, we showed bits of improvement, I think, in the defense today. You know, I know that we had a couple of bits of space where we were giving fucking Mark Andrews a shit ton of space, and Roshan Bateman some space as well. But we're showing progression. We're not getting turned over as much. Jared Goff had a really good game. He wasn't Jared Goof or him, you know, when he has those games when he just gets turned over in the pocket and shit like that. But you know, coming off this game, it's a big win for us on the road. We haven't beaten the Ravens till last night. We haven't beaten the Ravens since 2005. So it was a big win for us to get a win against a playoff contending team, a Super Bowl contending team. And, you know, we're at home next week against the Skidmarks. But again, looking at the Browns for next week, I'm going to go in depth about that later on in the week. But the Browns are not to be taken lightly, man, because they gave the Bengals a pretty good job week 1, and then yesterday they got a win over the fucking Cheeseheads. We couldn't do that. We couldn't beat the fucking Packers 2 weeks ago, and they just fucking beat them in like field goals, whatever. But they still beat them, and that's what I mean. That this Browns team is get a win for the Ravens. They have the Chiefs next week. So again, who's gonna be 1-3 next week? Is it gonna be Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes? But yeah, guys, that's my review of the Lions and Ravens game. Come on, one pride, Lions, baby.